Everyone. I welcome you to this technical webinar on microcontroller prototyping system from Arm. Um, this is the first time I'm taking this topic on MPS boards because these boards also help in development part, basically to accelerate your development time and to bring the product to market faster and sooner. So I welcome you all to this webinar. I'm Geeta. I work as a director ARM Tools at GSAS Macrosystems Private Limited. We are the authorized and prime distributor of ARM software solutions in India. The webinar will be purely technical. There will be no, it's not like product promotion or sales pitch kind or something on that. It will be purely on the technical part, though the product is from ARM. The main agenda of this webinar is to bring the awareness to the um, customers that ARM is of how ARM has the solution where they offer their prototyping boards, which will certainly help the end user at any stage of their software development lifecycle or product development lifecycle. Though it's a product oriented, but this is just, as I said, it's to bring the awareness and to just communicate or cater the information to the customers or to the embedded domain market that we do have a product from ARM, which will certainly help the user to ease their development work and get the product to the market soon. Okay, so let me share my screen. So before I share the screen, the webinar is for 45 minutes. Basically, I'll try to cover within half an hour, and I usually keep 5 to 10 minutes for question and answer session if the team has any. And I would like to invite or request the attendees to be feel free and ask me any questions, though it is out of the topic, like though the question is not related to the product or to the webinar agenda. But still, if you have any questions on embedded projects or any processor selection you're looking for, or you're working on any ARM projects and you're stuck on something, or you need some sort of assistance in your project development work based on ARM, please feel free to ask. I'm here to answer your question. So I have more than 20 plus experience working on ARM technology and its software solutions and architecture. And thank you. So to avoid the crosstalk and all, I would request the team attendees to keep your microphone muted, and please feel free to put the questions on the chat window. At the end of the session, I'll certainly come to that chat. Okay, so coming to today's agenda of the webinar topic is accelerating embedded development with ARM MPS FPGA prototyping boards. So, as I already said, this webinar will be specifically to let know the customers about the availability of FPGA prototyping boards from the ARM. So, webinar agenda is simple. We'll be first talking about the introduction of the boards, ARM MPS boards. Then we'll talk about the overview of the ARM boards. Then deep dive MPS 2, MPS 3, MPS 4. Because ARM offers microcontroller prototyping system board in 3 different configurations. It is MPS 2 plus, MPS 3, MPS 4. Then we'll see toolchain integration. How you can use your existing tools, whether it is Scalable or ARM Development Studio, to accelerate your development with these boards, and how it will help to do the early development. Demo overview as such, I don't have any board, but I'll certainly show you. I'll just show you on the KyleMDK the examples which are provided by ARM for those boards. MPS boards, as these boards are from the ARM. Then real world application. So here I'll talk about the real world scenarios where the users or developers can use this board or deploy this board for their application. And last is question and answer session. So about GSAS microsystems, actually, the slide will be more like lot of points to cover, but in view of for related to ARM, in specific to ARM, what is that GSAS offers? As I already highlighted, we are the authorized and prime distributors for ARM software solutions. So we are the leading distributor of embedded solutions. So not only ARM software solutions, we also give the other hardware and software solutions specifically targeted for embedded market, embedded domain. We are specialized in ARM-based development tools. As I said, we have a good expertise on doing the post-sale. We have expertise of selling the ARM software solutions to our customers in India. So we have both technical and commercial knowledge on selling the products. Then with the ARM software, when I tell ARM software solutions, it's not just the software license. We also give the boards, which is for prototyping, debugging. We have JTAG debuggers, which are used for testing purposes. So we actually, these solutions, it's not only targeted for automotive, IoT and industrial, a few only captured, but it can also be used in medical as well. It can be used in aerospace application as well. It can be used in railway application. It can be used in any way. So what are ARM MPS boards? MPS stands for Microcontroller Prototyping System. So as the name suggests, the board has an FPGA which helps you to prototype the microcontroller. So you'll ask me, microcontroller, why will anyone prototype the microcontroller? True, it is, we are actually prototyping the Cortex cores, ARM-based cores. It can be Cortex A, Cortex R, or Cortex M. So you may ask me, ARM, there are a lot of other devices. We have ARM7, ARM9, secure cores, SC000, SC300. All those are not supported. This is specifically for Cortex series. Okay. So these are FPGA prototyping platforms for ARM IP, specifically ARM IP cores, as I had already highlighted. It basically helps for bringing the time to market. Means accelerate means with the help of this prototyping boards, you can quickly complete your design, develop your hardware. We'll be talking about these points in the upcoming slides. This is just a kind of bullet points, and thereby you can develop the product and release to the market soon. You know, it's a competitive market, right? So whoever releases the product to the market first will capture the market or gain the market share or get the profit or whatever margin, everything. If I take example of a mobile phone, because that's a typical, everyone will understand. Otherwise, there are many other real world examples. Mobile phones, if you see, we have a lot of Android based mobile phones. We have from Samsung, we have from Xiaomi, we have from Poco, Realme, whatever it is. Please forgive me if the brands are existing, but I know Samsung still offers and Xiaomi is still there. So suppose the brands are working on bringing a new smartphone with some latest technologies to the market. Okay. So customer will always go for the mobile phone which is first released to the market, because if the customer is looking for those latest features or the smart technology features implemented in those phones, then customer will certainly opt for that phone. They'll not wait for Samsung to release the phone. They'll directly quick and grab the phone released by Xiaomi because they want that phone. They want to use that features. I'm just giving the example here how competitive the market is. So why anyone has to invest in buying the tool? Why anyone has to invest in purchasing commercial license like ARM compiler license or ARM boards or ARM JTAG debugger? Why ARM has come up with so many solutions? That's because it helps the customer to complete their product development soon and bring the product to the market, so that whoever is the customer who is serving the market can gain the maximum profit from the market. So we'll talk about enable early software development and testing. Early software development is basically, so even what happens usually in product development companies, we have software and hardware. Hope the team knows. So software is something which acts as a firmware or kind of drivers which works on the hardware. So if a hardware itself is not present, how will the user test the software program? Correct. So what happens, there are two scenarios here. One is either the software team has to wait until the hardware team comes up with their prototype board and give it to software team for testing. Second scenario is until the hardware team comes with their prototype board or some proof of concept board, the customers can use such prototyping boards offered by ARM, which will easily help the user team to test their software on the board and keep the software ready when the actual hardware comes out from the production team or a hardware team. So that is what it means by enable early software development. Then it is scalable from Cortex-M to Cortex-A and AI workloads. We will talk about this in the coming slides. This FPGA, as I said, these prototyping boards are specifically for ARM IPs, and it supports all from Cortex ARM, A to ARM. A means we have 32-bit and 64-bit processors. Not all 64-bit processors or not all 32-bit processors are supported, but some selected Cortex-A cores can be programmed, because as you know, Cortex-A is a complicated processor. It needs a lot of logical tiles on the FPGA. In other words, the FPGA size should be huge. It should have good amount of logical gates for the to get the Cortex-A processor into it. Why ARM MPS board? So this is the main reason why we are doing this webinar. Why ARM MPS board? How is that going to help? First, ARM early software development. This I already just explained in the previous slide. This helps in enable software development before the silicon is ready. Here, it can be silicon or even before your hardware is ready. Okay, so developer can test their code, it can debug their firmware, whatever the software code they developed, the firmware for their actual hardware board, or any drivers for the board, peripheral drivers, everything, applications, everything, they can test it on the real ARM FPGA even before the actual hardware board comes, which I already explained in the previous slide. Scalable prototyping platform. So in here, ARM, as I said, there are T configurations they have released: MPS 2 plus, MPS 3, MPS 4. MPS 2 plus they have specifically targeted for Cortex-M processors only, and all the complex SoC related application can be programmed in MPS 3 and MPS 4 based on the customer application requirement. Okay, so if you want to prototype any Cortex-M based application, it can be from M0, M0 plus, M3, M4, M7, M23, M33, all these processor cores, you can still go with MPS 2 plus boards. Okay. So complex SoC, Cortex-A and Ethos specifically is for MPS 4 board. As I said, based on the application requirement, you have some simple FPGA boards to the higher end FPGA boards. In that, MPS 2 plus is a fixed platform. Means it's a fixed, you cannot alter the binary or the application on the FPGA. We will talk about that. Education research. Basically, MPS 2 plus boards, since it supports Cortex-M, this can be targeted for educational sector, for educational students, for universities, or for the colleges for which the professors can teach their student about the Cortex-M architecture. Okay, software ecosystem compatibility. As because these boards are from ARM, they are well integrated with their well-known popular development solutions in the market, which is Kyle MDK. MDK stands for Microcontroller Development Kit. If the team cannot recollect Kyle, some people call it as Keel, but the correct pronunciation is Kyle. We have ARM Development Studio specifically targeting for Cortex-A and R, and MDK targeting for Cortex-M. So these IDs have the data debuggers which are compatible with whatever the debuggers ARM has released, or even third-party debuggers. So faster time to market. So you can relate the first point and the fifth point, because early software development will help in getting the product to the market faster. Because software, everything is tested on the real ARM FPGA board, and once the actual hardware board comes with few iterations or something, with few modifications, your code should perfectly work fine and your product should be out to the market soon. AI and ML evaluation. As you know now, IoT is a buzzword now, Internet of Things. It's a hot topic. It's a hot cake in the market now. Everyone talks about IoT. Everyone talks about sending secure data to the cloud, or even even in car, in an automotive per second. It sends billions of data to the cloud. So it's all based on now IoT related technology. So IoT, usually customers working on IoT, they usually work on AI and ML workloads. AI is artificial intelligence and ML. AI is not new or one new word now to the users, because everywhere now AI is seen. In WhatsApp now AI has come. Many people now follow ChatGPT for product for improving their product knowledge, or whatever it is, or to develop the business, or even for technical stuff. Even the users want to know more about some architecture or some programming stuff or anything. AI is used widely now, so AI is not a new word to the customers at all now. So MPS3 and MPS4 boards can be used for AI application. Okay, so helium technology was implemented in Cortex M55 application and M85 application, where these processor cores released by ARM was specifically targeted for AI and ML workloads. So if at all you are planning to work on any AI application, or any IoT application where AI and machine learning is involved, you can select the Cortex M55, because the required support for this AI application or ML is inculcated or included in the Cortex M55 or M85. Whereas MPS2 cannot be used for any AI application. It is just a normal prototyping board for testing your code on any Cortex M based application. So now let's come to the overview of these boards. Okay. So all this information is available on developerarm.com site. I'll just quickly show you the links also after the slides. So this supports M0 to M7, Cortex M0, as I said, M0, M1, M0, M3, M4, M7, M0 plus. So basically, this is ideal for all microcontroller applications because it supports all Cortex M and any RTOS related application. This is a compact FPGA. This is a board, how it looks like. MPS2 board. You have a compact FPGA with a simple I/O interfaces, and you have all these interfaces available. It's not only the board; it can be used as a development kit as well, because it all the on-chip peripherals or the peripherals of the Cortex M can also be tested. Like you have USB, UART, GPIO, QSPI, as well as Ethernet. So you have USB. So we have UART. So this is your LCD, graphical LCD. This is for JTAG. This is for trace port. It comes with Altera Cyclone 5 FPGA. We'll talk about more about them. Coming to MPS3, this is specifically for prototyping the SoC, complex SoCs basically. So here it supports, it doesn't support A here. Probably it supports the lower end like Cortex A8, A7, A5, but not the higher end Cortex A processors. It supports Cortex M55, Ethos U55, Ethos. For your quick information, it's a numeric NPU, numeric processing unit. Usually NPU is used along with your application to do some sort of, as the name suggests, it's a numerical calculations, numerical processing. Okay. So this is a medium sized FPGA. What you get it, below this fan you have the FPGA. So you get GPIO, you get user extension, means this board can be expanded based on the application requirement. Whereas MPS2 Plus is a fixed one and you cannot expand its functionality. You cannot expand its, you cannot use that for what to do, modify the board as per the user application needs. MPS4 is a higher end board. This is recently by the ARM, probably last quarter, probably in the October, November, December. It is available for sale from us from the January onwards. So this is a higher end SoC prototyping. This supports Cortex A, Cortex R, as well as Cortex M. Okay, this is a large FPGA because this has to include Cortex A processor. Means they have used a very good capacity FPGA here. It has HDMI, USB 3. This is specifically can be used for AI and ML workloads for any automotive or SoC validation. And it also has expansion connectors. So now, because as I said, ARM offers 3 different variants of the board, which board to select, MPS 2 plus, MPS 3 or MPS 4. So based on here, you can see FPGA capacity is small as an MPS 2. Suppose only Cortex M, it's a fixed one. You cannot alter it. You cannot change it. You cannot expand its features. Whereas MPS 3 has a medium and MPS 4 is a large one. So this supports M55 plus Ethos U, U55 or U85 also. This is cornerstone applications which ARM has given for MPS 3. Then this has Cortex A or R. Okay. And you have interfaces, peripheral interfaces. You have here PCI Express, HDMI, higher end, serial protocol based for MPS 4. Whereas all the boards has the JTAG, 3 and 4 has with trace functionalities. If at all you want to collect the trace, real-time trace from the running board or running application, you can do so by connecting the board with a debugger which has that intelligence of capturing the trace. Tool integration. So for MPS 2, MPS 3, MPS 2 and 3 can be integrated with Kyle because Kyle specifically supports Cortex M-based devices or Cortex M-based microcontrollers, whereas MPS 4 cannot be used with Kyle because MPS 4 is Cortex A or R-based. But for MPS 4, we suggest DS. Debug support, ARM offers their own Uling debugger series. Many of you might have been aware. So Uling Pro is a higher end one for collecting the real-time instruction trace. Kyle also supports third-party debugger supporting as well. Now coming to demo, I'll just show you here. This is a pack installer. Basically, this comes as part of Kyle IDE. In the Kyle IDE, if you click this pack installer, you'll get this. So pack installer basically helps you to download the required packs for your application development. All the suppose if it's MPS 3 board, MPS 2 board, or even if you've selected some device. So all the supporting files, required drivers, algorithms are delivered in the form of a packs. We call it as software packs. So here you can see for MPS 2, they have given applications. For MPS 3, they have given application. So you can see MPS 2, MPS 3, MPS 2 like that. So these are all the sample projects which are given by ARM. So you can directly, if you go for here examples, it shows here. So you can select that, just copy, and you can copy that to the required project and you can open and you can build your project. If you have connected the board, you can get your board working and you can see how the board works. So based on that project settings, you can develop your own project, or whatever the existing project you have developed, you can modify as per this board settings or project settings and get your code downloaded to the RAM of the board. Because it's FPGA, it has off-chip RAM. There is no on-chip RAM. On-board RAM, we call it as. Okay. So where applications and use cases. So where is this? Where does this boards take its part? How, where, in what application these boards can be used? To be frank, it can be used in any applications. It can be used for any, if it is a student or a researcher or a freelancer, hobbies, they can be used to learn about architecture. Or if it is in automotive segment, they can use it to test the ECUs and hardware in loop systems. Or if it is an IoT application, you can use that for AI and ML model prototyping with a numerical processor unit ethos. It can be used for robotic application. It can be used in industrial automation as well as academic research for students or the professors to know about the ARM architecture. Okay. So these are the support and services we usually offer from our company for the ARM software licenses and what are the products we sell for ARM. So technical support will be given by our team. We have the technical expertise, and we can also give the training, probably the paid training. If anyone wants the paid training, we can do the paid training on the product what the customer purchase. We can offer the licenses because these boards work with Kyle MDK and DS license. If the customer is planning to work on any of the Cortex core and you're planning to buy the board, and we can offer you the license which will help you to get access to the software with which you can connect your MPS board and start with your project development. Any sort of consultation information you want for your project or something, or prototyping stuff, like you can give us your real scenario, what is your actual requirement, and based on the requirement we can suggest you the appropriate tools and solutions. So if you want any pricing details of the boards or any demos, you can please reach out to us. Any questions, please put it in the chat window, and this is my mail ID. So please put all your requests. It can be demo, or it can be pricing related, or any sort of information on ARM software, ARM technology, ARM products, ARM architecture, or anything on related to ARM. You can send out an email to geeta@gsasmspl.com. Now let me come to question and answers. Okay, Survi has a question. Team, please feel free to put the questions here. As I said, as I announced earlier in this webinar, not related to this webinar, you can ask me any questions related to ARM. I can certainly help you out. So Survi question, for FPGA part, which software has to be used? Survi, actually these FPGAs are based out from Xilinx. So we don't give any FPGA programming tool along with the board. You have to use the Vivado tool, which is Xilinx offers. Okay. Whereas MPS 3 and MPS 2, as I said, they both can be used for Cortex M. The boards are shipped with the SD cards, where there is a soft copy or the firmware copies of the soft IP cores or soft. You have all these IP cores firmware involved, included in the SD card. You can configure the FPGA to be programmed with M0, M0 plus, M3, M4, M7, or M23, M33, or M55, M85. The SD card has all the IP cores in the soft form, synchronized form, or soft IP form, so where the cores are available, and you can easily program those processor cores to the FPGA, and you can easily prototype your application based on that, whatever the processor core you have selected for your application development. After development on ARM, how the ARM part interact with the FPGA part? How the ARM part? Okay. See, as I already answered your question, FPGA can be programmed with the required Cortex M processor core. Okay, so whatever the Cortex core you're programming with FPGA, that will be your microcontroller, or it can be the heart of your embedded system now, heart of that board, and that will be your processor. Okay, so whatever application I download to the off-chip RAM, the processor which is programmed in the FPGA will execute that program, and whatever the application requirement is there, the processor will execute accordingly. If you don't program the FPGA with the Cortex M core, then even if you download the code to the board also, your code will not execute. Your code will not perform, because the heart of that embedded system or the heart of that board processor is not there at all. Okay, so you will get all the pre-configured IP cores in the soft form in the SD card, which is provided in the MPS 2, MPS 3 as well as MPS 4 boards as well. Any other questions? If you are developing your code to the microcontroller with a Kyle, then can you import binary to Vivado from Kyle? No. See, as I said, Surabhi, these FPGAs, especially for MPS 2, it's a fixed FPGA. You get a fixed soft IP cores you get. So that has to be programmed to FPGA through the Vivado GUI only. Kyle cannot help you in programming the FPGA because FPGA needs the bit file, which Vivado tool will help for programming actually. For MPS3 and MPS4, there you can actually scale, you can modify your required application where instead of Cortex M55 or something, you want to program the FPGA with some customized version of M3 or customized version of M4. So M4 has some specific features. So as per the application requirement, customer wants to add some peripheral or something to that particular version of Cortex M4 or M3, then that can be done in MPS3 or MPS4. So customization of the FPGAs can be done in MPS3 and MPS4, but it has to be done through Vivado only. Vivado tool is offered by Xilinx for development of their FPGAs. Am I clear? Any other questions? Can you give one session on Kyle with So please send email to my mail ID. I'll certainly arrange for that. Sometimes next week, or you can this week actually you're occupied because tomorrow and after tomorrow there is a workshop which our management is conducting for their employees, and we will not be there in office. So you can plan based on your team's availability or your availability sometimes in next week. I'll certainly be happy to do that for you. So Surbhi, you're from which company? Because I see it's only Gmail is written here in the attendee list. Please share your, probably I'll get the contact details as well if you're given the number at the time of registration. Please send out an email to me. I'll certainly do the needful for you. You're already working on Kyle? So any other questions? Okay, it's only Surbhi who is the one who asked the questions. Others did not ask, though I see 2 people joined from Mirafra. Mirafra team, Narayan and Supriya. If you have any doubts, you can please send out an email to geeta@gsasmspl. You have bought MPS4 boards. Okay. So I'll wait for your email, Surbhi. Thank you. Thank you, team. Thanks for your time for making up for this webinar. I will see you soon in the next webinar, which will be next month again. So please, our team will be sending out, our marketing team will be sending out the emails to the customers who are in our database. They also do the post on the LinkedIn, social media and all. Every month I do technical webinars. Please make it a point to register and attend without fail. Though at present, even if you're not working on ARM, it will certainly help you if at all you're planning to work on ARM in future. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Narayan. Thank you. Bye-bye.